She's, both. Okay, so I should probably say a little bit more than that at least. Let's start with a brief overview. Those of us who didn't grow up with Slavic tales will be more familiar with the omnipresent witch in the brand of Germanic fairy tales that the Grimm brothers fostered. She's the one that poisons the princess, tricks the prince, and eats the children. What she isn't is the one who gives the hero what they need to finish their quest. Baba Yaga isn't quite so black and white. Her name comes from Baba, meaning grandmother, and Yaga, meaning witch. Basically, grandmother witch. Some accounts point to very different etymologies, despite the seemingly obvious link. But this isn't a dissertation on linguistics, so we're not going to go into that here. Stories featuring Baba Yaga are found primarily among the Eastern Slavs, and there are a number of related beings that scholars have connected to her. One notable example that comes up in Western Slavic folktales is Yeji Baba. Andreas Johns, who's written at length about Baba Yaga, theorizes that some common character, possibly from the medieval period, is the common source for these figures. She usually flies around in her mortar, threatening to mush people up with her pestle, and lives in a strange little hut with the legs of a fowl, often interpreted as chicken legs. In some stories, she's living fairly comfortably, while in others the hut is so small that she sleeps with her head in one corner, feet in the other, and a pointy metal nose sticking out of the chimney. But back to the title of the video, the question I already answered. How am I going to justify the claim that Baba Yaga is both a villain as well as an ally? I'm going to start by leveraging Vladimir Prop's morphology. What functions does Baba Yaga fulfill in various tales? We should be able to look at these functions and describe various roles to her. If I'm right, and she isn't always the villain, then that should reveal itself in this analysis. In one tale, two children have a stepmother who says to them, "Dear children, go to my grandmother who lives in the forest in a hut on hen's feet. You will do everything she wants you to, and she will give you sweet things to eat, and you will be happy." Of course, this grandmother is actually Baba Yaga. The children end up visiting their real grandmother for advice, and, as a result of that advice, they are able to escape from Baba Yaga. This is classic Baba Yaga as a villain. The children and Baba Yaga do battle, and Baba Yaga is defeated with a series of magical items, including a towel that turns into a river and a comb that turns into a forest. In one story, the hero asks Baba Yaga for food, water, and a bath. No questions asked, she provides the hero with these things and tells him exactly what to do to defeat the villain, helping to satisfy function 14, acquisition. There are many variations of this tale, some requiring the hero to display gracious manners instead of making demands, but they all end up with Baba Yaga helping the hero. In one unusual tale I read, Baba Yaga doesn't have many of her usual traits. We don't see the hut or the mortar and pestle. Instead, she's visiting a young woman in secret and drinking her blood. The hero ends up laying a trap for Baba Yaga, doing battle, and ultimately defeating her. In a different tale, Baba Yaga is seeking the water of youth. She gives the hero magic items he needs to complete his quest in exchange for a promise that he will bring some to her, again satisfying the acquisition function. In this tale, she even lets the hero's allies marry her daughters. In one rather long tale, Baba Yaga seems to be the villain upon first reading. When you apply Prop's functions, however, you realize that Baba Yaga is actually fulfilling function 12, testing. The hero gains magical items which ultimately lead to the defeat of the quest giver, the king. The king is tricking the hero, and the hero submits to the king, and only at the very end of the tale is the king defeated by Baba Yaga's youngest daughter. The hero ends up marrying her and becoming the new king. There are also quite a few tales in which Baba Yaga only makes an appearance for a couple of sentences, offering a magical item or fulfilling function 15, guidance, and sending the hero toward their final destination. So, as we can see, Baba Yaga isn't always fulfilling the role of the villain. Sometimes, when the hero treats her right and whoever was telling the tale is in a good mood, Baba Yaga will fulfill the role of donor. She's making sure that the hero has what they need to succeed in the challenges they're about to face. So, why is all of this interesting? Well, typically, ugly characters are shorthand for some sort of evil intent or other lack of character. The crone in the archetypal tale we'd tell in North America isn't the hero of the story, and if there is an old woman who's going to help the hero, she's a kindly-looking grandmotherly figure. Similar tropes do come up in Eastern Slavic tales as well. The majority of tales I've combed through do indeed place Baba Yaga as the villain. Look at the tale where the children turn to their grandmother, and her advice allows them to escape from Baba Yaga. Maybe the fact that Baba Yaga sometimes fulfills a similar function to that grandmother and other grandmotherly figures is why she's called Baba Yaga instead of simply Yaga or witch. We've seen that Baba Yaga can fulfill conflicting roles in the different stories she's a part of. This gives her a nuanced, unpredictable role when she appears in a story. Is she going to try to eat the hero or help them on their quest? Indeed, Baba Yaga can be a villain, a hero, or a neutral party depending on the tale. So, what comes next with my research? All of the tales I've referenced in this video, and the ones I've alluded to, are from collections that have been directly translated and are around 100 years old or older. I've also been collecting tales from 2 more types of sources, and I'm interested in how they compare. The first are collections from the same time period that were reinterpreted for an English-speaking audience, typically British children. And the second is much more recent work with verifiable scholastic integrity, such as the work that Natalie Kononenko has been involved with. Does Baba Yaga fulfill the same paradigms in these tales? That's the next question I want to answer.